Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we talk about three or four interesting tech topics and get you on your way as soon as we can. Did you hear about a SpaceX launch today? We're not going to talk about that. Instead, I have Angel from the Hollywood Library. How are you doing, Angel?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
Life is good. So, Angel, you're the branch manager out there at Hollywood. Now,
Yes.
we still have 2 Hollywood libraries. You're at the Hollywood on this Young Circle?
Well, no, we are the circle just to the west. We are
Okay,
on the City Hall Circle, and
gotcha.
we all have the same address. It is so much fun when, especially with Uber Eats or,
Uh,
and it's great because the old library is also on this campus, and it is still called the old library. So when City Hall sends people to the old library, which is now code compliance, guess where they end up? At the building that
awesome.
says library on it. And we get a lot of we have learned how to be extremely kind. Not learned, I'm sorry, we continue to be extremely kind, and we have actually learned a little bit about Hollywood in and out, so we can actually direct people to where they actually need to go.
That
So
is awesome. See, everybody, this is what your library does. They're out there helping you even though it's not us doing it.
we adapt exactly.
And speaking of which, our first story today is actually about that, adapting and helping people here. Um,
Yes.
Tell me, Angel, do you use closed captions on your when you're watching TV or movies?
On my videos, I do. When I'm out and about, a lot of times I don't have headphones, and I really love to. I like TikTok, I like YouTube, and I don't need all the bells and the whistles like the sounds. So a lot of times I will just kind of watch the video 9 times out of 10 with just the captions, and I enjoy it that way, and that way it's not quite so busy, but
Yeah.
I can get the meat and the potatoes of what's going
Yeah,
on.
I never have sound on my phone. But when you're watching a movie on TV, or do you sit on the couch and watch a movie on the couch? Or have you
Yes.
moved on beyond that like so many other
No,
people
no,
have?
no. We still sit. We have a nice big screen,
Good.
and we do watch a lot of foreign films. And we actually prefer. My husband and I prefer closed captioning
Yeah.
because we want to hear the actual dialect. We want to hear their actual voices, but we also want to go know what's going on. So
Yeah.
reading the dialogue is much more enjoyable than hearing it dubbed.
Yeah. And that's what this is gonna do. So for all of those people out there who are like, "Why are you talking about closed captions?" A lot of people, my wife included, puts on closed captions for everything on TV because the voices are too low for her or they get too muffled in with the background music or whatever as she's trying to understand what they're saying. So Prime, Amazon Prime has now got a new service as part of their videos that they have used AI enhancement on just the dialogue of a movie to increase just the voices as they're talking instead of all of the movie and just driving up the volume on everything and being able to just enhance the dialogue part and keep all those sound effects and everything else in the background. So in theory, this is going to make it easier for people to be able to watch and just hear what's going on.
Yes, yes, that's amazing because sometimes you're right, dialogue does get muffled, and if it's a very busy scene with a lot of background noise, dialogue does get lost. It really does. No matter how close, they do the dubbing or whatever it might be,
Mhm.
no matter how close to the boom they are, you're gonna lose some of it. So, yes, and when you turn the TV up to ear-shattering volumes to where you can hear the
Yeah.
dialogue.
This is not gonna fix those 2 dark scenes that you're wondering what the heck's going on because they filmed the thing in super dark for whatever artistic reasons, maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
Exactly. Who
But
knows?
we our next story is good news or bad news. Probably bad news for 90% of the population on the planet. El Nino is coming back, and if you're not
Ooh.
aware of what El Nino is, that is, high pressure system effectively that sits over the Pacific, and it either increases or decreases the temperature difference. And under an El Nino, temperatures rise over North America, Central America, the Caribbean, etc. And so, as those temperatures go up, and you can see here on this graphic how fast it is all of a sudden changed and gone up.
Mhm.
unlike it's been over the last couple of years, we're going to get the hottest temperatures ever. So if you thought it was hot now out there in the rest of the United States, welcome to Florida,
Mm.
because you're about to hit our regulars or higher. Actually, you're probably going to be higher than what Florida has for the most
Some of
part.
those states are already, they're higher than Florida. So, like, in the summertime, you'll see the temperatures are three-digit temperatures. Whew.
Yeah, I know, and it's so rare to ever get something like that here. Um,
But I did
but
see and hear where it
yeah,
could rip apart hurricanes,
exactly.
right?
That's what this is one of
Such a
those for
blessing.
90% of the people out there, El Nino type things are a bad thing. El Niña is when the temperatures drop a little bit,
Mm,
and look at how hot it's been even with that. But now under El Nino, what happens also is the upper jet stream currents speed up,
mm,
and that rips apart hurricanes.
mhm.
So we will get fewer hurricanes, and most likely we will get fewer hurricanes and weaker hurricanes over the next season that starts June 1st, everybody, and don't think they can't happen in May. Uh,
Or April, hey.
yeah. Yeah, we almost had one last week.
That was
There
nuts. Is everything okay with your house? I never did
I know.
your
I know.
goods?
It's oh, I'm fine. We
Awesome,
did good. I mean, down here at Main Library, we still have dryers in some of the corners
I've
on the first
heard.
floor out here trying to dry off everything, but yeah. Yeah. So it's gonna be this is one of those things where the Pacific is gonna warm up, and that's just gonna cause everything else California through the Rockies going on. So it's really good they got all that rain and snowpack in, because this is gonna heat that up and melt it faster than it was expected to.
Yeah, and that could bring flooding in other parts of the with so much snow on the mountains, such a dramatic increase of temperature, just whoosh,
Yeah,
damages
I
down.
know. It's gonna be crazy. They're already planning for, flooding out there and stuff like that, because it's one big weather event like they've had these last couple of months is not gonna solve 10 years worth of drought.
Mm, mhm.
And so we're gonna watch and see what happens, and this is supposed to be, finding out what this whole El Nino thing will be determined over the next 2 months. But as we showed, I'll show that chart again, and as always, these links are in the show notes for you, so you can go and check out these details and get the actual, report from NOAA if you want. Um, that line's going up really fast.
Mhm. Yeah, NOAA is on. I have the app on my phone. I check
Yeah.
it kinda crazily all through the summertime from
Oh, yeah.
June till November.
Yeah. It's there. It's yeah, all the time. And along with all that warmth is this problem of pollution,
Mhm, mhm.
the western states in particular, as we were just saying. And the reason this one was just so frustrating to see yesterday was because this report came out before that El Nino report comes out, and El Nino is going to make it worse.
Mm,
So what happens is there's this is not a one-off study of, oh, we tested things for one day. This is not at the beginning of the pandemic when everybody was locked inside for the first 3 months and levels dropped and then rebounded right back up. This is a long-term study. It's gone over from 2019, 2020, and 2021 of air testing things of over 10,000 different air monitors scattered around the Western United States. And it just doesn't look good.
no. There was I don't know if it was a study or another article, but there was something that was on this article that said that a 4-day work week might
Mhm.
actually help
Yep.
due to the, climate patterns and having the nobody or having less people on the
Right.
roads.
Yep. Exactly.
Um,
Have fewer cars, fewer vehicles on the road helps. And having fewer trucks, etc. Move to mass transit, move to electric vehicles, all those good things. And you get a chance to see what you want to be able to pull off. And you can see right here the top 10 places that are the most polluted right now. and we are California, 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 Alaska, California, Arizona, California, Oregon, Indiana.
Mm.
Um, that part of it's bad enough, and I wouldn't want to be living there. I don't know, where do you want to live right now in the United States? I don't know that there's any good ideal spot at the moment, right?
Everything's got a plus, everything's got a minus.
Yeah. So part of the problem with this report comes out that it's there. We've moved up instead of going down like we should have been. We are now up to 64 million people that have to deal with these pollution controls over the last. That's up by 24 million people in the last decade.
Mm-mm-mm.
More people being affected by this pollution and having all this horrible air, et cetera, et cetera.
Aren't they finding like plastic in
Yes.
the Marinas Trench?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah. The Marianas Trench down there.
in
Yeah,
this
it's
remote place. Yeah.
it's an insane thing. And then possibly one of the worst things about this whole growth of pollution is that it's not equitable either.
Mhm.
In who it's affecting. So if you live in a county with these 10,000 sensors that have been out there, if you're just part of the regular population, people of color, 41% chance that you're living in an area with this high pollution.
Mhm.
But if you're living in a county that had 3 or more failing grades from all these air monitors, those counties, 72% people of color.
Mm.
So it's not affecting everyone equally.
Mhm.
This is not something that you can get away from by, you live in a bad space, you need to move. These are just areas of the country that everyone is just getting hammered on. And the failing one grade, 54% people of color, 46% white. So it's not like you're getting away with this if you're not a person of color, you're still going to get hammered by this. So we just need to stop. We need to take, like you said, 4-day work weeks, doing something. Everybody has to pitch in, and that's the small stuff that the individual person can do. Yes, we need to be doing that, but we need corporations. We need all levels of government doing this because we're already here. The climate changed, and we've got all this stuff that we have to really deal with.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem it honestly doesn't seem to matter if you throw carrots at it or if you throw sticks at it. Industries, corporations, uh, you just kind of wonder. It's like where does it stop? How did it start? And how can we change, or can we change? I mean, they all say you need to start by this date, but that date seems to be getting a lot closer. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like every day there's some new horror, and then you have the accidental pollution where you've got trains that derail that are,
Yeah.
or you've got tankers that explode, or leaking oil into the ocean, not because we're fracking or drilling, but because of just human error by sinking a ship accidentally or it's
Yeah. And no, I know. Take a breath. I've got something good for you, Angel, though. I've got something good for you. So there are still parts of the planet. Remember, it's a big planet. That's why this is a problem, is because once you start the ball rolling, it's really hard to reverse course. But down in the Galapagos,
Yes.
they found brand new coral reefs that are untouched by pollution, by man, by global warming, and it is amazing. Now, these are not easy to get to. That's why they're still almost pristine. We are talking almost 2,000 feet below the surface, miles below the surface. That
They
we're
should
going
stay
down.
there and stay safe.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is over the course of it's along the west coast of Central America, from South America up through Central America, the Galapagos, remember, off of Peru, etc. And there are all sorts of sea life that they didn't expect to find because they've migrated there
Okay.
through a series of these undersea mounts, and they have migrated along this chain to get to some of these deeper places and get out of the polluted waters and move closer to
Smarter than we are. Yeah.
something better. Yeah. So as they're doing, here's a picture of the Alvin. The yeah, isn't it fun?
It's cute.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Um,
oh.
yeah, it's got the whole propellers. This is the submarine that they can actually put people in and then go deep into the ocean to go test things. This is out of
Those are
Woods
great.
Hole.
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah,
watching
this is
those
a really
things,
nice
and,
one.
oh, if frilled sharks go by or those crazy deep sea,
Mhm.
jellyfish or those squid. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure that we finished because the 2 stories that I found this week, I'm just like, "Oh, that's just horrible, horrible." No, we need some good news. We need some good news on top of this. So, yes, there are good stuff still happening out there on the planet and good places to go see, and let's keep them safe
Fingers
and
crossed.
at least mostly pristine. Um, we'll see about that. And speaking of keeping things clean and
Right.
pristine, Angel, you've got something going on Saturday. Tell us about it.
Yes, I am so excited. I don't know if you could tell from some of my conversation, but I am very passionate about keeping our beautiful beach area beautiful. We have, if anybody knows this, but out maybe about 100 feet or so off the coast of Hollywood and Dania and all the way up, even like to Sunrise, we've got a coral reef.
Yeah.
It's fragile and it is, few and far between, but it is teeming with life. You can see rays. I interacted with a squid that was the highlight of my
Oh,
summer
that's
last
cool.
summer. It was the coolest. I mean, it's just amazing and it
Yeah.
is just gorgeous out there. But we have so many. This I'm not saying this is a negative. We have so many tourists, and even all those cruise ships that bring in so much needed money and just
Mhm.
help us keep. I mean, all the advertisement that we get helps people keep us in their
Yeah.
forefront.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
if they see our beautiful beaches and they see our beautiful environment, hopefully they'll take that home and want to create a beautiful environment in their homes. But by having all these people, we get a lot of trash and a lot of just refuse that is left on our beaches. And so the libraries, I know everybody and their grandmother does beach cleanups, and
No, not really. That's why it's important for us to be talking about this is because there's a lot of people who may think, "Oh, yeah, Earth Day. Yeah, 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 they're gonna talk about it on the news." It this is the day you do something small. If you can't come to our beach cleanup, go to your own local park and make
yeah,
sure that that's clean.
and believe it or not, just even if one person starts, people follow.
Yeah.
They kind of don't care what you're doing. If you're doing hopscotch, if you're doing, or if you're playing basketball, or if you're bending down, picking up, with gloves, of course, like debris
Yeah,
off the
be safe.
people.
Yeah, we will
People will
give you trash bags and grabbers
stickers,
and
yes,
yeah,
gloves.
yeah,
So we're trying to utilize uh, non what how would you I guess non-plastic stuff. So
yeah.
we
Non-one-use things,
thank you,
especially.
non one-use things. And that is one thing that is, if you do come to the beach, please bring, where when possible, bring your own water device so you
Yeah.
don't have so many plastic bottles or bags to have to deal with. It is, turtle nesting season, so we also have to be very conscious about our light activity and how much light pollution we give
Yep.
out. We don't want those little guys. They hatch and they're like, I need the water. They look
Yeah.
for the stars, and there's cars over that way, and they run to the cars because they don't know any, because
And
they're
we
just
talked about
hatched.
that on the show a couple of weeks ago. The library now has some citizen science kits on light pollution that you can go check out at the North Lauderdale Library and do your own testing and see where what's going on here with the lights and what kind of stuff exactly for sea turtle nesting or other things if you go out west towards the Everglades for other for birds and everything
Mhm.
that are get distracted by it also too. Now this starts this Saturday morning at 8 a.m.
Yes, it does. And we
and it's
actually,
what
oh,
is where is it exactly for
it
people?
is exactly at the Hollywood Beach Bernice P. Oster Reading Center, and that's at 1301 South Ocean Drive in Hollywood. There are a couple 1301 South Ocean Drives
Of
in
course.
other. There's one in Pompano and one in Fort Lauderdale, but this is what's in
Yeah, we're
Hollywood.
down in Hollywood.
And Bernice P. Oster was a beach activist. So that's why they named the reading center after her, which I think is fantastic. And it does start at 8. We're going to have some speakers. We're going to have a couple of vendors, and we're mostly it's mostly a family activity. That's why it's early. I know 8 o'clock is super early, but you're out on the beach, and it
Well,
gets
and
hot
if you
fast.
and if you get there early, like I will be out there early to help set up, and then you get to watch the sunrise.
You do. It's
It's
gorgeous.
a pretty cool thing.
It's one of the most amazing places to me.
Yeah.
I
Oh, it's
feel
awesome.
most at home by the water, by the
Yeah.
beach, and the critters that live there, and everybody that's there. It's such a precious ecosystem,
Mhm.
regardless if you're a person or if you're an animal or a plant. And it's amazing. We have nurse sharks out there. We have bull sharks, but we
Oh,
have
yeah, yeah,
nurse
yeah.
sharks
Yeah,
out
we have a real coral reef, folks. If you haven't been, this is the northern end of a coral reef that extends all the way down past the Florida Keys.
there.
So
It's amazing, and it's
you
ours, and
you gotta come
and
see
it's
us and do this.
sustainable.
But, okay, Angel, we could go on for this for hours. We gotta wrap up here. We'll see everybody on Saturday.
Please.
I'll have the library submarine there and
Nice.
show off
And if
how that
anybody
works for
wants
people.
to volunteer, I'm so sorry, I was gonna say, if anybody wants to
Say it.
volunteer, we are still accepting
Of
volunteers.
course.
If you go to our library website, if you go to Eventbrite, if you go to Hands on Broward, all three of those places, if you look up Earth Day Fun Day and at the Hollywood Library, but
Yeah.
Earth Day Fun Day, that's our key term. If you're a high school student and you want credit for
Service
volunteering,
hours.
Hands on Browards.
Yep. It's
If
gonna
you
be
want to
awesome.
join us and register, our library events page or Eventbrite, which will take
Yeah.
you to the library's events page.
It's gonna be
So,
great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be
yeah.
great. And we will see you there this
Yes,
Saturday. And if there is a library or librarian you wanna see featured on the show, you know how to reach out to us. creationstation@broward.org. We'll see everybody next week. Have a
thank
great
you.
day.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.